Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev Zia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. We deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. place of light and love. You can't have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true. A beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Morning, everybody, and morning. Hello, everyone at home, too. Now it's time for our little pray-in, so if we want to sit back, take a nice deep breath. Close your eyes if you want to. Just relax. And let's take a moment to think about, shoot blessings at, to really feel the love for all of our family and friends, our community, all the people that we know. In fact, everyone on the face of this earth. And let's remember that we are all one. Everyone is the same and different. All of us deserving our love and blessings. And let's take 2 seconds and consciously let's shoot blessings out into the world. Peace and love and harmony. And peace and love and harmony for ourselves as well. And let's feel this safe space that we are in and be grateful for that. Be grateful for our lives and all of our friends. And another deep breath, and let's say together, and so it is. Okay. Let's see. Our reading today is from Eric Butterworth. His book is called, it's a book of inspirational essays called Celebrate Yourself. Eric Butterworth, in case you don't know him, is a Unity minister, and he's truly a great and kind writer. If you can, and you've never read Eric Butterworth, you can pick up one of his books. I know they're available in the Denver Public Library as well. And plus, I know Unity doesn't put a lot of their stuff on YouTube, but there are a lot of Eric Butterworth essays on YouTube you might enjoy. This passage is from the essay, Love, the One Creative Force. More than a quarter century ago, a college professor had his class go to the worst slums of Baltimore and get case histories for 200 young boys. Afterward, the professor asked the class to write at the bottom of each case study the boy's future. Without exception, the students wrote, "Hasn't got a chance." 20 years later, another sociology professor came across the study and decided to follow up. He had his students find out what happened to the boys. Without exception, with the exception of 20 boys who had moved away or had died, the students learned that 178 of the remaining 180 kids were extremely successful. They were lawyers, they were doctors, they were businessmen, and so on. The professor was astounded. What had caused this unexpected result? He decided to speak to each of these men and asked, "How do you account for your success?" Every single one of them said, "There was this teacher." The professor tracked down the teacher. She was now retired and still very sharp. He asked her what was the secret formula she used to pull these kids out of the slums and into success. Her eyes sparkled and her lips broke into a gentle smile. "It's very simple," she said. "I love those boys." Butterworth then wrote, "Where there was no chance, love found a way." Ernest Holmes advised, "A power greater than you has put you here. Everyone has a place to fill in life, and the world has the need for you now." And astronomer Carl Sagan pointed out, "The cosmos is within us. We are all made of star stuff. We are the way for the universe to know itself. And now, the always fantastic, super duper Susan Clark, who's going to sing and play for us.
Hello, CSL Denver. Susan Clark with you once again to provide some special music for your service. I picked out a song by Lady Gaga. You know, I used to say I was either fearless or foolish for choosing to tackle such lavishly produced songs to cover as a solo artist. And now I've decided that I am both fearless and foolish. So, coming to you live and direct from beautiful San Diego Park, New Mexico, and my living room, here's my version of Lady Gaga's Born This Way. It doesn't matter if you love him or capital H-I-M. Just put your paws up, 'cause you were born this way, baby. My mama told me when I was young, we are all born superstars. She rolled my hair and put my lipstick on in the glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said, 'cause he made you perfect, babe. So hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be. Give yourself prudence and love your friends. Subway kid, rejoice your truth. In the religion of the insecure, I must be myself, respect my youth. A different love is not a sin. Believe capital H-I-M. I love my life, I love this record, and love cannot exist without the truth. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Whether you're broke or evergreen, you're black, white, beige, Chula descent, you're Lebanese, you're Orient. Whether life's disabilities left you outcast, bullied, or teased, rejoice and love yourself today, 'cause baby, you were born this way. No matter gay, straight, or bi, lesbian, transgender life, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to survive. No matter black, white, or beige, Chula or Orient, babe, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to be brave. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, just love yourself and you're set. On the right track, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way.
Good morning, good morning. And I was born this way. So what else can I say? Welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love. A spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and utilizing universal principles to empower our lives and the lives of others. I am so glad that you are here today. And that song, if you'd have been here, you would have saw me in the corner just smiling as that song was being sung, because today is a day. I woke up this morning. First, I was feeling unloved, quite frankly. And I don't know why. And it was a passing moment. But when I thought about the whole idea of today's topic, love as a universal expression, like a switch, my mind changed. Because I was able to, in that split second, realize that no matter what the situation is, no matter how bad or good it's supposed to be, it's all good, in the sense that we are here on a sacred journey. We're here on a journey to explore ourselves, our powers, our likes, our dislikes, so that we begin to understand that we were born this way, and that there's nothing wrong with who you are, or why you are, or what you are. Because God has created each and every one of us, first and foremost, out of love. And second, in its own image. So we are a powerful package of love, a powerful image of what life is supposed to be. A grand adventure, a grand journey. None of this straight walk. There's no straight lines in the universe. If somebody finds one, let me know. Everything has a little wiggle. Everything has a little turn, a little bend. And so when we begin to explore this idea of love being expressed universally, there is no one way to do that. There is no one way to do that. And so today we'll gather here to explore the most profound and moving thing in the world: love. Love. Now, the first thing that we want to know and remember is that love is a transcendence. Love is a transcending power. It moves beyond the petty, the individualized, the often grandiose ideas of who and what any specific situation calls for, or you think it calls for. Just think about some of the news we may have heard this week. In Libya, over 11,000 people lost their lives due to flood. Right across the way, over in Morocco, another 3,000 or so lost their life due to earthquakes. Here in this country, we've been having floods and all kinds of activities from hurricanes and tropical storms, and all of these things are happening, I believe, because the angel Gabriel, now, and if you remember, the Gabriel is that angel that calls forth the glory of God, calls forth the awakening for us to remember who and what we are. And when we look around right now, Angel Gabriel is blowing on that horn, saying, wake up, realize what we have here as life on earth. Realize that this is a joyous place, given the ups and downs and all of that. Remember that we are here to be conduits of the divine, to be transformative agents on this planet. And so when we step into this transformative way of life, when we step into this way of looking and living and expressing love, it makes me smile. That's why I was listening to that song and I was sitting there smiling and saying, I cannot remember a time when I didn't feel love, even when I felt bad. How many times or how many cases can you remember when your parents told you, you can't do this or you can't do that because you didn't clean your room, or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that? And you were mad and all out of touch. And then sometime later, you realize that, ooh, I'm so glad Dad made me stay home today. I would have been in trouble. I would have got expelled from school. I would have been in a car accident. I would have been a whole bunch of stuff. But that expression of love that is sometimes firm, that is sometimes gentle, that is sometimes compassionate, allows us to really experience love in its fullness. Now, one thing I think that is a misnomer, unfortunately, I believe most of us, most people, I won't call nobody out specifically, I made it real general. Most people, they look at love as a noun, something that describes something. However, when we get to the roots of what love is a verb. Look it up. Love is a verb, meaning that there's action involved. There's something that's moving. There's something that's going on other than just saying, I love you. Love is a little bit more than that. And it's most definitely a little bit more than what the prevailing society demonstrates to us, which is a romantic love, candles and, soft drinks and cozy environments. That is one aspect of love, maybe. I'll leave that to your imagination. However, we know for sure when we can see someone in need, the homeless, someone who's lost a loved one, someone who has really gotten to a point to where love is the only thing that can heal. It's the only thing that can move you from point A to point B. When that happens, we begin to know what love really is. And if we look at this first slide, I want to take this idea from 1 Corinthians. Very powerful. It says, if I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not love, I am only a resounding gong or clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to the hardships that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. So what is that saying? That's saying that love is really beyond your comprehension. All the things, think about all the things you've done. You gave somebody something. You helped somebody with something. You gave them some information to move them from point A to point B. Now, not that that's not needed or that's not an expression of love, but the energy of love, the vibration of love is way beyond that. It's way beyond that. And when we can begin to operate from that perspective, when we begin to think about life in those ways, then a healing will begin, both internally and externally. Internally and externally, because you see, love has no boundaries. I don't help you because you look like me. I don't help you because you're from my town. I help you because when I see you suffering, when I see you without need, there's something that resonates within me for the things that I need, for the things that I'm missing. Now just think about that. We have this concept, this universal principle in our teachings that talks about the law of correspondence. If someone else is hurting, there's a correspondence in you that's hurting. It might be different in a display of how you see it, but there is a correspondence for everything in life. And we must get in touch with that, because if we don't, there's this whole thing, you know, people try to explain the difference between up and down and left and right. Remember, if there was no up, down would have no meaning at all. There would be no reference points about up. What is up? What does that look like? How do I express it? So we understand that life is a corresponding balance, a corresponding harmony, a movement that allows us to experience the fullness of life. There's a saying that said God created suffering, if you will, so that you could really understand what it means to not suffer, or to love, or to be giving. Because without it, it would have no meaning. And you could see someone on the side of the road and they would just be just like a piece of dirt on the road. Unfortunately. So when we begin to do that, we begin to think in the way that this next slide points out. I'm sure most of us have seen this idea that Rumi says, love is the energizing elixir of the universe love is the energizing elixir of the universe, the cause and effect of all harmony. There's just two sides of things that really allows us to not only experience love, but to express love. And that's what we're here today to do. We're here to look at love as a universal expression. Love as a universal expression. Now, Saint Francis of Assisi, which I'm sure some of you may have heard of, but you've definitely heard this phrase where he says, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Let me bring love. So we have to get out of this idea, I believe, of thinking that the only way I can express or codify or give love is some kind of happy feeling. That's part of it, yes. But that's not the complete and total expression of this thing called love. And I would submit that we need more love and maybe a little bit more love after we done gave out all the love we think we have. Because I know for myself that if I look back over my life and I look at all of the hardships and all of the things that I thought somebody was doing me wrong, or I felt somebody was giving me too much discipline, or I thought somebody was doing this, that, or the other. If I sit down and put it in perspective, if I sit down and really go deep within, I realize one thing. Love was always the foundation of what was going on. Dad wouldn't let me go out to play, not because he didn't want me to play, it's because I didn't do my homework. And he knew from a loving space that if you didn't do the homework and you go from grade 2 to grade 3, that's going to be a problem, because there was a foundational thing that happened in grade 2 that without it, it won't take place in 3. And that's how we have to begin to look at life. There are no shortcuts in life. None. Now, there may be some ways to speed up a process, right? But there is no shortcuts. If anyone in here has any horticultural aspirations or any horticultural skills, we know if you get a great greenhouse that can amplify the light, or you put grow lights in the greenhouse, the growth rate of those plants is accelerated. But ain't no shortcut. It still has to germinate. It still has to be in a great environment. It still has to be able to get light and air and love. It's the same with us. It's the same with us. So let us begin to look at love differently. From this day forward, let's look differently at love, because if we don't, we will always find ourselves wanting. We will always find ourselves wanting. And so one of the grounding points of love is respect. One of the grounding points of love is justice. One of the grounding points of love is justice. We see around the globe that there's this DEIBJ effort, right? And people pick and choose between those letters: diversity, inclusion, equity, belonging, and justice. That's the fertilizer for love. Diversity, inclusion, belonging, and justice and equity. I love the example, and I love to use it, of the whole self-container of a rainforest. Now, some of you may, you'll hear me talk about a rainforest often, because I think it is the epitome of what life is. It is a place that has every kind of thing on the planet you can think of. Every creepy crawler, every predator, every plant, and they all are living in harmony and love. And a story that I always point out when I'm talking about a rainforest is the relationship between the mushrooms, something that most people give little thought to, and the fantastic, marvelous trees that grow in the rainforest. There's a symbiotic relationship between the two things that allow the trees to grab energy and food during a certain time. And then when the seasons change and that same food source is no longer available, the mushrooms that have siphoned off some of that energy allows those trees to continue, because it does that reciprocal process of giving back. And so I want to give you 3 keys, 3 things to remember as we continue to wrestle with. And I say wrestle with because it's a wrestling, it's a hard thing to get our head around, because the prevailing society has just destroyed, in my mind, what real love is, because they want to make it commercial. They want to sell some Harlequin love cards, and they want to, they want you to buy some candles and some incense and some oils and all kinds of things to make you think you in love, or you feel in love, or you expressing love. And I can tell you, and I'm probably sure most of you can tell me the same thing, I did that at least 2, 3, 4 times. And I'm not quite sure I felt any difference afterwards when I did it. Following up someone else's idea of what love is. So these 3 things. The first thing is you have to know and love yourself. And if I can get that 3rd slide, this is what Iyanla Van Zant says. Know thyself, accept thyself, love thyself, no matter what you have done, whether you have been known, accept and love who you are. Doesn't matter what you did. We hear in the stories of Jesus, the master teacher, we hear the stories all the time that says, I don't care what you did. What I do care about is that you love. is that you have faith in this love enough to change your life. So when you begin to love and know yourself, the first thing we have to do, gotta listen. Gotta listen to who? Yourself, the birds, the song, everything. You have to begin to listen because everything affects you. And so when I listen to myself, I begin to know what I like and what I don't like. And don't tell me you love everything in that kind of a way, because I got a bridge to sell you if you do. We don't love everything in that kind of a way. We love everything in a universal expression of love, yes. But there's something, I don't like chili peppers. I don't care how much you describe them. I don't care how much you tell me they make the food taste good. I do not like them. They just mess my whole body up. So we have to begin to listen and love and know ourselves so we can really be active, so that we can really move in life and be a presence that allows us to feel good, whether it's rain or shine. We have to listen to ourselves. And then close behind that listening, here we go. Hold on. You got to give up your judgment. Got to give up that judgment. Because if we start judging, that means to judge something means to put it in a box. To judge something means to take part of it away, to kind of analyze it and try to put it in some kind of category. And the moment we put anything in a category, not saying that you don't need to or we don't need to do that, but the moment I do that, I've cut certain parts of it away. And so my vision, my limited understanding, my way of enacting whatever that thing is becomes limited and in most cases punitive. Take it all in and then sit with it in your heart and listen. How many times have our parents, our teachers, our friends, our mentors said, before you act, count to 10. Or before you act, take 3 deep breaths, or some variation of that. Because they understand, they've had the experience, or they had a very good teacher that told them, that says, make sure you understand the pool you jumping in before you jump in there. And make sure it got enough water and ain't no alligators in there. I'm from Florida, if you don't know. So there's alligators in the pool. So you want to know what you're doing before you jump in that pool. This is the first step of loving and knowing thyself. That's the first step that we need to do. We have to listen and we have to give up judgment. What's the next thing? The next thing is we have to lead by example. You got to lead by example. And you got to, more importantly, you got to love by example. Talk is the cheapest thing on the market. You can get it for free. You even have to pay for it. That's how cheap it is. But as one of my favorite poems says, I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. So we have to lead by example. We have to love by example. And now here's that magic word again of judging. Judge not by appearances. That's what that means in true essence. The appearance of a thing may not give you any clue as to what it really is. Now, I might give you one. I'm not going to totally poo-poo it, but I would say 85% of the time, it might give you a hint, but it ain't giving you the essence of that thing because of the way it appears. And so when we begin to have the ability to lead and love by example, we move mountains. And if we look at this slide, this fourth slide here, it says this: Without love, nothing can be accomplished. With love, all things are possible. And as we love, our prayers are answered and the gift of heaven is made. That's what happens when we walk and lead and love by example. You don't even need to say a prayer. Your walking, if you will, becomes that prayer. Your leading by example becomes the prayer, because here's another one of those universal principles. Y'all know this one, law of attraction, as they called it. What I put out, I get back. What I express to you, you express to me. And so when we're able to understand this, when we're able to give and receive, we have no doubt about what love is, about who we are, and about how we begin to express our lives. And now, last but not least, of these 3 points is we have to cultivate empathy and compassion. Not just talk about it, not just listen to it. We have to cultivate it in our lives. We have to make it something that we look at, something that we get involved in every day. Every day. Because if I can do that, first, it starts with me. I can give myself compassion for those things I did not do, for those things I wanted to do, but found an excuse not to do them. So I can have the empathy for it and the compassion. And then I don't need to judge myself against somebody else. Somebody else got some success. Somebody else, made some great strides. I don't judge them. I have empathy and compassion for myself, because if I'm getting judgmental about that, there's something in me that says, they did something that I want to do, doggone it, and I'm mad. Not at myself for not doing it. I'm mad at them for doing it. Now, what kind of madness is that? We have to be able to be compassionate with ourselves and have empathy. Because if we don't, we're only destroying ourselves. That uncomfortableness, that disease, if you will, of fear or doubt or judgment begins to take over your whole life. And all of the harmony and balance that has been provided to us by the divine slips out the way. And so this fifth slide, I think, kind of puts this in perspective. Think of the whole world as your friend, but you must also be the friend of the whole world. This is what Dr. Ernest Holmes says in Science of Mind textbook. If we're able to do that, it's easy to have compassion. It's easy to be empathetic. So let us begin to really understand that love is an energy. It's a transformative power in the world. It's something that allows each and every one of us to move. Move what? Anything, everything. And oftentimes it reveals itself as true love in that you don't even need to say anything. You just feel it. It moves you like a good piece of music. If a good piece of music come on, whatever your genre of music, have you ever been to a dance or a party and the music is playing and you trying not to move? You just sitting there. You just like, I'm not going to pat my foot. I'm not going to sing the song. I'm not going to move my head. But eventually, if it's good music, whatever your genre is, and sometimes across genres, you're going to know, oh, my foot, doggone it, and my finger's popping. And next thing you know, you up dancing. That's how we have to love. That's how we have to express love universally. in that kind of way, in that kind of vernacular. And when we do, we can move throughout the world and we can look at the tragedies of life. We can have compassion. We can have empathy. We can have movement. We can send dollars. We can lend hands. There's a whole manner of things that we can do. And so as we move into this week, we come to that portion of the service where we have call to action, right? Because we know love is a verb. It's not just description of things. So if we can get that slide for the call to actions, two things. The first one is examine your life and ask the question, how can I be more supportive? How can I be more supportive? More supportive of who? Of yourself, of your community, of your state, of your county, of the world, of the globe. Doesn't matter. There's that saying that you think globally, but you act locally, because it will span out. It will expand. So that's the first thing that we need to look at this week. The second thing is there any aspect of myself or ourselves that I need to learn to love that prevents me, that should be from loving others? Is there any part of me, if there's any aspect of me, if there's anything that I need to deal with for myself that keeps me from loving someone else? Now, these are the meditations for the week, because if you can meditate on these, if you can deal with these, I guarantee you, and you can't make too many guarantees, but this one I can guarantee you there will be some movement in your life. Even if it's just a small amount. Things that annoy you may not annoy you as much anymore. Things that you were afraid to do may not be as fearful anymore. So let's think about these call to actions as we move this week. And so, in closing, let us remember that love is a universal expression that binds us all together as human beings, as plants, as animals, as planet. It has the power to heal, inspire, and unite us. By practicing love in our daily lives, we can create more compassion and harmony in the world. So let us go forth from here, embracing love as the guiding light of our journey, of our adventure called life, towards a better place where all things feel comfortable, feel needed, and wanted, so that we create this world that works for all. And so let us pray. As we just go within and listen to that still small voice of the divine that is within each and every one of us, that's calling us to a greater expression of love. That's reminding us that we were created out of love, and that there is no power, there's no thing, there's no person that is stronger than love. Because this is the essence of the divine. This is that mystical, magical power that you hear talk of when people talk about God or the thing itself or the ultimate source. And so when we begin to just sit with that, we begin to understand that we are more than we ever thought we were. And most definitely more than we ever thought we could be. And so right here, right now, we begin to marinate on that idea, to resonate with that idea, and to allow that transformative energy to get us to pat our feet just a little bit. We know it's contagious. We know if we lead and love by example and we allow others to see us loving fully, it will be contagious. And so right here, right now, I know this is true for me and you and anyone that's listening in the audience. I know that love is a healing power. I know that love is something that uplifts us and excites us and enlightens us. And I claim it for each and every one of us right now. And I know that it will show up in our lives exactly how it needs to be. And so with that, I just give thanks. I give thanks for this moment. I give thanks for this idea. I give thanks for the transformative power of love that is expressed everywhere. And so with that, I just give homage to the divine. And I release this prayer into a law that is infallible, that is already working in our lives, that is already moving us in a direction to our full greatness. And so with that, I release, I let go, and I know that it is so. And so it is. Amen. And so if you can bring up that last slide with that affirmation just to anchor all this in, unconditional love is the cosmic glue that opens our hearts to success. Today, I choose that. And so now is that time for offertory, and I apologize for going long, but I just had that experience this morning, and so please forgive me. But now is that time for the offertory. And we are so glad that you are here with us. If this is your first time or you're a returning member, we appreciate your love, your talents, your gifts that you provide this community. And so if you look across the bottom of the screen, you'll see the many different ways you can give. You can go to our website and click the donate button. You can mail to the P.O. box, or you can use text and give. But however you give, please continue. And please support us as we do this mighty work of love. And so if it feels comfortable, if you place your hand on your tithe to your heart and repeat our affirmation, this perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive, and so it is. Amen. So it is. And Tim is going to come and give us a couple of announcements.
Thank you, Reverend Elsie. Love to talk, and that's a verb. All right. We have a couple upcoming events that are pretty good. First of all, we have an upcoming class, and it's called The Keys to Consciousness for Personal Spiritual Growth, Keys to the Spiritual Path. This is a 4-week class, and it begins September 27th, October 4th. Then we skip a week, and then it's October 18th and 25th, Wednesday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. It's here at the historical Grant Avenue building, 216 South Grant in Denver. It's a minimum of 10 participants, maximum of 12, and the cost is $50 per person. Our instructor is Reverend Elzia. This is an in-person class only. There won't be Zoom or broadcast. The class explores the journey of spiritual development and introduces mysticism as a personal commitment to spiritual growth through direct experiences of the infinite reality. Participants develop a deeper understanding of the unity inherent in religious ideals and universal principles. Please send an email to info@csldenver.com. That's info@csldenver.com. Let us know if you're interested, and we will send you information about the class and how to sign up for it. On Thursday, September 21st, 7 p.m., the doors will open at 6:30. The Center for Spiritual Living in Northern Colorado is excited to host Karen Drucker, one of CSL's premier vocalists, a celebrated singer, songwriter, and motivational speaker. It's located in Fort Collins at 1815 Yorktown Avenue. It's inside the Foothills Universal Unitarian Church. You can get your tickets through eventbrite.com and search for Karen Drucker tickets. Children are welcome for the special ticket pricing, but there's no child care. Additional information is on our table if you'd like, those here like to look at it. There is a 15% discount for tickets purchased of 3 or more. If you were able to enjoy our singer Jessie Powers that we had in July, she's now going to be in Denver live and in person. That'll be Saturday, September 30th. Jessie and Portia will be having a Raining Vibrations house concert at a private residence in Arvada. Doors open at 6. It's an optional potluck with dinner, drinks, snacks, and mingle. And then the concert starts at 7. You can RSVP to info@ntmedia.org to receive the address. This is a donation-based concert, and so please come and enjoy the music, food, and drink. The suggested love offering is $20. More if you can and less if you can't. And we do have older Science of Mind magazines for those of you here in the room. Over here on the table, free for fellowship. We also have some CDs that were donated. If you would like to look at the CDs, please take them and listen to them. They're very, very good. We do have the new Science of Mind magazines for September and October. It's a 2-month issue now, but they're the same price. They're $4, and they're over here on the table in a display. If you'd like to hear some good news of the world to affirm the good news of the world, we have a link on our Facebook page called And Now the Good News. This program is put together by New Thought Media Network and airs Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, or you can watch these anytime during the week. Just go to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver Facebook page and click on any post that says And Now the Good News. New Thought Media does have over 40 hours of weekly broadcast programs, and you are invited to go to www.ntmedia.org. Check out what they have. There is something for everyone. We're truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support CSL Denver by showing up on Sundays or watching our services online. We know that as we move through the rest of the year, the Divine Beloved is guiding and loving each and every one of us. We want to thank you for joining us. For those who are here in the room, please join us for fellowship, for coffee and cake and tea afterwards, and loving conversation as well. Now let us close out with Chris Chickering singing A Prayer for Who We Really Are. Thank you.
This is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with us. This is a prayer for who we really are. We are light, we are sunshine, we are what we believe. We are hope, we are promise of everything that's yet to be. We are bliss, we are laughter, we are flowers in the spring. We are life, ever flowing, and these are the words that we will sing. This is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with us. This is a prayer for who we really are. We are strong, we are fearless, we find the comfort in our souls. We are real, are open to the destiny that's ours to hold. This is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with us. This is a prayer for who we really are. We are here, we are present in every moment that we breathe. We are peace, we are freedom, and this is a song for you and me. Yeah, this is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with us. This is a prayer for who we really. This is a prayer for the love within us. This is a prayer to release our hearts. This is a prayer that we carry with us. This is a prayer for who